right here, it actually, they do such a good job of this already. They basically just take this row of bones off, so it's really easy. We should probably end up having 2 of these. I'll just put one here. And then all you do is you just basically lift the backbone. This is different from Dover sole. Dover sole, you'd have to actually cut a line down the middle that's actually already done for you. But basically here, all you're doing is lifting the spine so that you can put your spoon in. I'm just going to fold it over. We're going to take this out because we're going to garnish this on top of the fish afterwards. So the idea here is to make it look really nice and to go fairly quickly because the idea here is you don't want it to get cold. So this thing is falling apart. There's also bones here. Get here. This right here is the collarbone. We're going to take that off. And so it's dark at nighttime sometimes, so it's really difficult for you to sometimes see the bones. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to feel for them as well. Here's one, right?
And Bobby, I'm not sure if you had mentioned that usually the branzino comes out first because it does take a little bit longer, and then the entrees usually show up a little bit later, shortly later. Does that make sense? So that they're not looking at their entrees and then while they're waiting for the branzino. So technically, the branzino or any of the tableside should come out first by a few minutes, so we can be plating that while we're waiting for the entrees.
Simon, Kevin?
And does the kitchen alert the manager? Should we let a manager know we have one coming?
They know.
So obviously they're still training in the back too, but that outer skin should be a little crispy, right? So what's happening right now is that the whole thing is falling apart. I don't know if
Is it the bottom fillet or the top fillet?
Both. It looks like it's the top. It's the top. It's the top. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is a little surgery.
They never have to call us out. We knew that we're the ones that are going to be serving out the.
So if this happens, we're just going to try to piece it back together.
Any of the Chateaubriands, anything that's with the.
So the key here is presentation, obviously, right? Because if it looks gross, chances are they're not going to like it. So the idea is if something looks good, it's going to taste good.
We hear it. And they're like, okay, we're jumping right on. So, yeah, it's such a visual thing. We know to jump on it.
So you know how many of these went out each night?
Oh gosh, how many of these go out?
We do usually 20 on Fridays and 20 on Saturdays, and then about 10 to 15 on the weekdays, depending on how many covers we have.
So the question was, how many branzinos did we sell on a Friday night? And the answer was about 20 on a Friday night. And that's not including, the Chateaubriand, and there's also possibly, the red snapper, the Dover. So it's a very popular dish because it's an eye-catching dish. If there's a wow factor.
Yeah, the idea here is that we add those different layers of service. I don't know if we talked about this at the Young's Market facility, but it's about adding just the manager being present at the table that allows the guest to feel a different level of service. And basically, like your children, everybody wants attention, so guests are no different. That's the collarbone there.
And obviously the entree plates will be hot, the platter is hot, so it will keep the fish hot.
Is there a count on the computer if we're running low? Let's say we have 5 or 4 left.
Yes.
That way we know.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is not ideal, but so this is going to be for 1, yeah. And if it was for 2, then we just basically.
When it's for 2, it's a bigger portion?
So basically it's for. I would sell it for 2, and then sometimes people will order it for 1. Like men will generally order this on their own.
But it's the same size, usually 2 pounds.
Yeah, I believe it's a net 9 ounces. I actually that's oversold. This is net 12 to 14 ounces, so it could be split for two. It's $65 on the menu. So based on the price point, I don't think people will ultimately. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that it is a two-person dish, but one person can also order this on their own.
What I'm saying is a one-person dish, ideally for us, but for
someone
them
wants to share
they'll
it,
make it a two-person dish, right?
okay.
Because 65 divided by 2 is $32.50.
It's not stated on the menu,
That's a
right?
pretty hefty entree price as it is. So generally probably two ladies will order this dish and share it, while the men order steak and lamb, and then they all share. That's generally what people do. So
someone else to keep the head or any of that, you just let them do it.
yeah. So then afterwards, when you're done, you have both the collarbone here on both sides, and you have the head. So you just simply ask, would you care for the head and the collarbones? And it's generally, I think 3 out of 10 times they'll say yes. Yeah. And generally, Persian, a lot of Middle Eastern people like that. Spanish people like that. Americans don't like it. Yeah, they don't want to have anything to do with it. And the tail, and Asians